And welcome to another episode of Brothers Arguing Sports. I'm Zav. Across the Zoom is TD.
What up?
And we're revisiting. If you remember, in mid-February, we did an episode on who's going to be the MVP. Well, now the season's over. You back then had Nikola Jokic. I had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Have you changed your pick, TD, for MVP?
I hope you have. I hope you've come around because it's a no-brainer now. I'm sticking with the Joker.
Why?
All right. I came up with 4 reasons to me why it's not a debate to me. He's gonna win it, and it should just be a wash. He has a case alone for MVP just on his meat and potato stats. All right, just those numbers alone
Well, you're no.
worthy of MVP.
TD, meat and potato stats goes to Luka. You can't argue that. Meat and potato stats goes to Luka. The guy's averaging 34,
Okay.
10
Yeah.
assists, and 9 rebounds.
All right, that's pretty much what Joker's. But
No, it's not. Joker is not.
No. I'm saying in terms of assists and rebounds, it's true because that's what separates Joker. All right, maybe, but the shooting efficiency, Luka's not close to Joker's up. He's not close to him.
He's a guard shooting 48%, 38% from three.
And Joker's 58%. Okay. There's a big difference there.
TD, my point is you just said meat and potato stats.
Okay.
Meat and potato stats go to Luka. To me, that's not arguable.
Okay, that's a case.
34 points a game, 10 assists.
Luka's not even in the debate, Rob. Luka's not even in the debate.
He's in the debate.
It's between him and Shai.
No, it's not, TD.
Factor in Luka. I'm doing this argument, Joker versus Shai.
TD, if you're being objective, you can make a case for Luka, Jokic, or Shai. All three of them have a case. That's if you're being objective.
Okay.
So your first point was bad. Let's hear your second point.
Okay, I'll admit that, but that was me because I knew you were going to come with Shai. So I was arguing against Shai.
Go to your next point.
His cleanliness of scoring in bulk just separates him from anyone else in the leagues. He just pointing to a random stretch in the beginning of the new year, end of December, beginning of January. No one mentions it because this is so routine for him. But just look what he did and tell me, can anyone in the league even come close to doing what he did? In 5 games, he scored 121 points, all right? That's not just a big dunking. That's significant scoring every day. He did it on 52 of 63 shots. Took 63 shots, he hit 52 of them. You want to bring up Luka, he's not going to come close to that, okay? That's 82.5% from the field in 5 games, getting 121 points. Yeah. From the line in that stretch, he went 32 of 33.
Right. I'll give you his efficiency. He's more efficient. No,
it's efficiency in bulk. That's just untouchable in league history, let alone this year.
All right, what's your next point?
All right, and I know. And the next point adds on to that. He's doing this incredible scoring in bulk and efficiency, and he's also doing the work of an elite point guard and an elite rebounder. He's doing this incredible stuff, and he's averaging 9 and 9 dimes and boards. So it's just the total combo of the untouchable, unique, clean scoring that no one can touch. And then he adds on to it every single day, elite rebounding, elite assisting. Okay. That just puts him in a league of his own. And now the third one is just a stat that they mention on the broadcast every time he plays. Every single Denver Nuggets the entire roster has better shooting percentages. Every single person, when Joker's on the court and when Joker's off the court, every single player on the team has worse shooting percentages.
Okay.
And that to me so it's a combo of how much better he makes his team, the load he's carrying, and just the unprecedented cleanliness and efficiency of it all, that it puts him in a league of his own.
All right. Well, I think I'll give you efficiency, and I give you, when it goes to advanced stats, if you look at, efficiency rating, box plus minus, win share, that's where you've got your numbers, and I'll give you that. And being that center to play the way he passes is unprecedented. And I agree, he's the best player in the league. There is no one who does more for his team from an offensive standpoint than Jokic. I give you that.
Yeah.
For me, standard, if you just look at the stats, it's Jokic. I mean, it's Doncic. his second half, since they made that trade with Gafford, so they acquired Gafford and PJ Washington, the team's been great. They've been more defensive and they've relied on him and Kyrie for scoring, and he's been off the charts. He's through the roof. So if you just want to go by stats, I go Doncic. Then winning. The Western Conference this year is absolutely stacked. I mean, you even saw it. The Warriors, who really finished the season strong, they were a 10th seed. And at the end of the day, the Thunder came out on top. They won the Western Conference. And from that point, you go by Shai Gilgeous, because Shai also has the stats. He led the league in steals, over 30 points a game. I could pull it up. His, 6 assists, 5.5 rebounds. Those are great stats for a guard. So to me, you could go all three, but I'm going with Shai because the second half of the season, Jokic he texted his teammates and said, guys, we got to turn it on this second half. They wanted that 1 seed, and I was ready to give it to Jokic. Shai had some injuries down the stretch, but at the end of the day, they lost that game to the Spurs, and the Thunder got the top seed. You know why? Because head-to-head, they outplayed them, and head-to-head, they won 3 or 4, and Shai Gilgeous was the best player or the highest scorer in 3 of the 4 games. So it's very close between all 3, but when it comes that, I just go to the best team and head-to-head, and that's the Thunder.
All right, well, you have a point. I'd give it to you if they were the best team by like 10 games.
No, it was that.
It was the one. Yeah, I mean, that to me isn't a big deal.
Yeah, but TD, if you break down the stats, you could go either way as well.
Not really, Zop, because I'll give that Shai's the more prolific scorer, and he's the scoring king and the steals king.
That's a great combination.
Exactly, and I'll give him that. I'll argue, though, that Joker makes up for that difference and then some with the dimes, with the rebounds, and also just with the 7-foot, whatever he is, presence under the rim. I think that's all those 3 things combined makes up for the gap in scoring.
Well, but here's my last 2 points. Not only did they win the Western Conference.
You're giving so much to that side. It really.
At the end of the day, it's a regular season award for the regular season, and he won the Western Conference, this stacked conference with a team. Look how bad the Spurs were. The Spurs were so bad because they're so young. Oklahoma City is just as young. He had no other All-Stars. 23.5 years of age for San Antonio, 23.8 for Oklahoma City. No other All-Stars on the team. He got it done.
Zop, are you saying? So, Zop, by the way, the Nuggets blew like a 20-point lead or something in that game.
Yeah.
Are you saying if they didn't blow it and they won that game, you wouldn't give the MVP to Shai? I think I think you're giving too much weight. Yeah, I think you'd have a point if they were the runaway best team, like 7 or 8 games. But I think the 1 game difference.
It's very close.
It's not a big. It's who cares?
And you don't care about head-to-head. They won 3 of the 4. He was the highest scorer 3 of the 4 games. You don't count that as well.
You know what? I would count that, and I do think that stuff is important. And I'm sure if I was trying to make a case for Shai, I'd bring up all these things. And that is important. I remember, that's kind of how Embiid won it, Zav, last year. Remember, he owned the head-to-heads against Joker.
And he put up huge numbers.
Yeah, but
big scoring numbers.
Yeah, but a factor was remember that game? He dominated the game. It's just my point is, all right, the separator to me is Shai's not doing anything truly separating. I think it's Jokic. Like I mentioned, those 5 games.
Jokic.
Yeah. It's Shai is not. There's an extra level there in Joker that
I agree. He's the better player.
Zav, it's historical what he's doing.
You could argue what Luka's doing is historical. 34 points a game, 10 assists, 9 TD, here's what I honestly believe. I think you're influenced by Jokic like being the best player, winning the title, not getting the MVP last year. if you just go based on this regular season,
Zav,
I think
he's
you'd be
been
more
a
open-minded to the other
monster, Zav.
guys.
He's been a Zav. He hasn't missed a game. He is the Zav. That's why I brought up that stat about the team.
Listen,
Like,
who has a
that-
better supporting cast? Who has a better supporting cast?
Listen, man, those guys are not that great. He makes them good,
I'm
Zav.
just asking you, simple question. Who has a better supporting cast?
Him or who?
Him or Shea?
Uh, Joker, obviously.
That's my point. And Shea beat him. He beat
But
him head to head, and they won the league. Listen,
Zav, they
we're
look
getting,
pretty bad without him.
I agree. I 100% agree with that. But
Realistically, though,
regular season, they got it done, the Thunder.
Zav, realistically, though, you'd be shocked.
I said
if
Jokic is a better player. I agree.
No, but even an MVP though, you're saying if
No, Joker's going to win. Joker's going to win because people automatically go to the advanced stats. That's what the voters, TD, that's why Jokic won even when he shouldn't have won. A couple years ago, they were like the 6th seed and he won it. I mean, they love the advanced stats. To me, it's more about winning. That's
and Zav,
that's-
I agree, but that's why that stat on how every single Nugget is every single one, bar none, is better with him on the court, worse with all. And that to me is a direct stat that has an effect on winning.
And TD, if it's just offense, he gets it. But you can't ignore what Shea does on defense. All right, those are our that's our argument. Let us know who you think the MVP is in the comments. Have a great day. And tomorrow we're going to be back to talk about the Warriors. Good night.
Okay.